I wanted to talk about the introduction that I read to The Artist's Way. I wanted to also introduce a little bit of what I do and what I like to do as an artist. And hopefully along the way I find the tools that I need to really kind of find my way through all of this world as an artist. So let's get right into it. We'll go through kind of what I went and gleaned off of the introduction to The Artist's Way. So even before the chapter 1 started, there's a little introduction by the author, Julia Cameron. So it says as the first line over here, how can you teach creativity? People want to know. Defiance fights with curiosity on their faces. I can't, I tell them. I teach people to let themselves be creative. This is something that already struck me off of the bat. This is something that I have been telling myself and trying to convince myself that I don't need to be aligned toward a certain goal in order to get there. I just want to know what I'm doing in the moment and just being there and just letting it be and letting the creative juices flow. Something that really came across over here. She says that the book is what I do, etc. I have seen blocks dissolved and lives transformed by the simple process of engaging the great creator in discovering and recovering our creative powers. The great creator? That sounds like some Native American god. It sounds Christian too. New age, stupid, simple-minded, threatening. I know. But it's an exercise in open-mindedness. Just think. Okay, great creator, whatever that is, and keep reading. Allow yourself to experiment with the idea that there might be a great creator and you might get some kind of use from it, freeing your own creativity. Because the artist's way, in a sense, is a spiritual path initiated and practiced through creativity. This book uses the word God. This may be volatile for some of you. I love that she's mentioned this. Conjuring old unworkable ideas about God you were raised to understand. As you were raised to understand Him, please be open-minded. Now, open-mindedness about things like this is something that I had never been. I was very narrow-minded, very close-minded about what creativity looks like, what I should do, and what the process should look like. This is the very reason I do not have any videos of me documenting what I do for my art in all these years. I have never talked into the camera because I've never been open to the idea that, okay, along the way I need to also understand that the process that I am in, I haven't felt the need to address my own self about the process, and I've been close-minded about it. I have thought about how I can put out videos, I can, get views and subscribers and then fall into the algorithm, but clearly it hasn't worked out. And I'm not somebody who says that I am one of the greatest, I am amazing in my writing and music. I know I have my limitations. I genuinely enjoy the process of it. I genuinely enjoy writing the songs and composing the songs and recording them and getting ideas to produce them in different ways. The next part of the book says, if you're creatively blocked, and I believe all of us are to some extent, it is possible, even probable, that you can learn to create more freely through your willing use of the tools in this book. Do these things and a breakthrough will follow, whether you believe it or not, whether you call it a spiritual awakening or not. What you're doing is creating pathways in your consciousness through which the creative forces can operate. Once you agree to clearing these pathways, your creativity emerges. In a sense, your creativity is like your blood. It is a part of your physical body and nothing you invented. It is a part of your spiritual body and nothing that you must invent. This part of the book spoke to me so much. So a couple of years ago, I got the opportunity to play at a So Far Sounds show in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. This was the first show that I was playing all of my original songs, and it wasn't an open mic, and it was an official show where I was part of 3 artists who performed the show that day, and it was an amazing experience, to say. So something that happened very similar to this creator, the God that the book talks about, I think I experienced that right before So Far Sounds. Very sadly, in February 2023, my mom passed away out of the blue, and it was something that nobody could do anything about. I had to rush to India from the US, and when I came back, I kind of locked myself in the apartment and I did not venture out a lot. I kind of stayed with myself. It was an opportunity for me to introspect, and it was an opportunity for me to dive deeper into who I am, what I'm feeling. And her death brought about a lot of feelings, it brought about a lot of emotions. And at the same time, I also realized while I was locked inside that I also had to work upon my upcoming gig. Like, this was the first chance that I'd had in so many years. After like 5 years of applications to So Far, I had received an email back, and I did not want to give up this chance. I was also struggling to write songs, and I did not know what original songs to even perform for the show. But something happened, like maybe a month before, I put myself absolutely into this zone of trying to write songs, of trying to make music. After work, that's all I would do. I would just sit with myself and force myself to get into this zone where I wanted to have creativity flow, but obviously because of other emotions, grief, etc., I was blocked in a lot of ways. But then something magical happened. 1 week before the show, which was on 14th of July, on 7th of July, I did sort of have a spiritual awakening. That is another story. If you would like to hear sometime, I could talk about it. But I remember very distinctly on 7th of July, I had a spiritual awakening, and my life completely changed after that. I started living life with much more gratitude. Well, not much more, like complete gratitude, which is something that I had never felt before. I had never felt true, genuine gratitude for things, and that coursed through my veins, through my body. It was almost a physical sensation. But what brought this about was, what this brought with it was extreme clarity. I felt like I was in this zone where I could write and I could create music, I could do whatever I wanted, and there was this feeling that I had sort of connected to this, cloud somewhere, and I was just downloading data. I was just downloading off of it. And I had no idea how this was working, but it was a feeling that I had never had before. And I utilized it completely, and within one day I had like 4 or 5 songs written, and I really liked them. I had composed the songs, I had written out the songs, like everything was done. I had a whole set list ready for my show 1 week later, for which I was struggling for all these months. But that feeling is something that I recognize, is that feeling that you're connected to something, that spiritual awakening, enlightenment that the book talks about happens, sort of. It really felt like I was connected to something. And then I was watching MJ the musical on Broadway, and there was a scene where Michael Jackson is debating whether he should perform one of his own songs, write one of his own songs, or should he go with the one that his manager is saying because that's going to bring him more money. And there was a scene where he's talking to a janitor and mulling over what to do, and he says this to him, that if I don't do this song right now, God is gonna give the song to Prince. And it resounded in me like anything, because it took me back to that moment that God is going to give it to somebody else. So, which means He's connecting somewhere from where the inspiration is coming through. And if He does not, vibrate with that frequency, so to say, if He is not truly in alignment with that, force, that inspiration, that creativity will go to somebody else who is in alignment with it. So it's probably less to do with God and spirits, and rather than just having a belief that you are capable of opening up to other things. So over here, somebody, she talks about her own journey as well, where she says, I need to unblock. And then she says that she was drinking. Well, this is something else too that I was struggling with. She felt like when she was drinking, she had a creative outlet. And I sort of see what that is, because it kind of loosens you up and helps you write, helps you think better, think more freely. You're not constrained by your conditioning and things that you've been taught in society, things like that. And she gave up alcohol and she was sober, and then she wanted to turn her creativity over to the only God I could believe in, the God of creativity, the life force Dylan Thomas called, the force that through the green fuse drives the flower. I learned to get out of the way and let the creative force work through me. I learned to just show up at the page and write down what I heard. Writing became more of eavesdropping and less like inventing a nuclear bomb. So it's more about just doing it. It's more about just the process. And these things resounded so much in me, because I have been somebody who has always trusted the process. Like I said before, I have been working on music, art, poetry, writing, books, and I've enjoyed it so much along the way. It has not brought me any fruits in life. As an artist, I wouldn't say I have no recognition. There are people obviously who do know me as an artist, but again, it's not something that I do full time. It's not something that is my complete identity. Right? So that's something that I would probably aim to do. As an artist, I think I've been really blessed that I have had a career which has supported my artistic endeavors. I have been able to purchase instruments, microphones like the one back there, I have cameras where I could record my videos, things like that. It's something definitely that is not encouraged by the Indian society. Take up art or music as a career. You have to be a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer first. So I became one of those first, and I could not take it up as a full-time career. And it's something that I definitely look forward to doing. And hopefully with this book, it will help me learn more about myself and my creative ways and the creative outlets that I could have and things that I can do better. It says the resulting pages emerge as a blueprint for a do-it-yourself recovery. I don't think there's a recovery needed almost. I feel like I just need some sort of push, and I haven't ever done this for myself. I have always just been laid back and chill about it and thought, maybe some things are gonna fall into place. I've never talked to the camera before, and I've never interacted with my YouTube audience at all, or my Facebook audience or my Instagram audience. I have just posted. I've just posted for years and years and years, and I don't know if this is going to help change anything, but I want to trust the process. I want to do something different and step out of my comfort zone. I want to step out of this little block that I live in of recording songs, recording videos and posting them and trying to make content and stories and things like that. I want to get out of that and do something different. So I am very hopeful, and I'm very um, encouraged by the reviews that this book has. You know, I look forward to doing the 11 or 12 weeks of activities that are involved, trying to document it along the way, which is very important. Before I sign off, my name is Mayuk. My original music is on my YouTube channel called Indigo Train, right here. I am looking forward to doing the artist way and documenting it and talking more about my journey, the art that I do, discussing more about even the paintings, the digital paintings that I make, talking about the process that I go through when I am trying to write a song, or trying to make a guitar progression, things like that. I will try and document all of these things, but the priority is always going to be for the next few weeks the creator's way, and a spiritual path to higher creativity. Hopefully that comes true, and I am able to absolutely embrace that feeling and stay there, and so that the creativity never fades, and this journey can always continue without gigantic creative blocks.